Good morning, Katie.
Hi, Maggie.
So what were your impressions of the governor?
Well, I think she is very confident and very cool, calm, and collected under very difficult circumstances. Obviously, she has become an overnight sensation, an instant celebrity, but she seems to be taking it all in stride. I think she is boning up on a number of issues that she is not as familiar with as governor. And she's not always responsive when she's asked questions, and sometimes does slip back to her talking points. So it was a really interesting experience for me to interview her yesterday.
Let's see if that's the case here. We have an excerpt where you ask her about her opinion on the bailout.
Okay. Why isn't it better, Governor Palin, to spend $700 billion helping middle-class families who are struggling with health care, housing, gas, and groceries? Allow them to spend more and put more money into the economy instead of helping these big financial institutions that played a role in creating this mess.
That's why I say I, like every American I'm speaking with, we're ill about this position that we have been put in, where it is the taxpayers looking to bail out. But ultimately, what the bailout does is help those who are concerned about the health care reform that is needed to help shore up our economy, it's got to be all about job creation, too, shoring up our economy and putting it back on the right track. So healthcare reform and reducing taxes and reining in spending has got to accompany tax reductions and tax relief for Americans. And trade, we've got to see trade as opportunity, not as a competitive, scary thing, but 1 in 5 jobs being created in the trade sector today. We've got to look at that as more opportunity. All those things under the umbrella of job creation. This bailout is a part of that.
I know, Katie, that she goes on to say that everyone on Capitol Hill is waiting to see what John McCain will do on this. For leadership or for political cover?
Well, really primarily for political cover. I asked her about that, particularly because recent polls show that Barack Obama is benefiting from this financial crisis in terms of his poll numbers versus John McCain. But there are many fiscal conservatives on Capitol Hill. This is anathema to their financial or economic philosophy. And they really don't want to support this plan. Nobody really does, even Democrats. Everyone's sort of doing it, holding their noses, knowing that it's the lesser of two evils, because inaction is a very serious thing as well. So I think they're waiting for John McCain to come out and support it before they put their support behind it, because they don't want to raise the ire of their constituents, and many of whom are very upset that the U.S. government is in a position of bailing out financial institutions who, quite frankly, made some very bad decisions.
Tonight on the Evening News, we'll hear your conversation about foreign policy. I'd like to play an excerpt where you ask her why she thinks Afghanistan is more of a challenge than Iraq.
Okay. Why is it much more challenging there? Can you explain that?
The logistics that we're already suggesting here, not having enough troops in the area right now. Things like the terrain even in Afghanistan and that border between Pakistan and Afghanistan, where we believe that bin Laden is hiding out right now and is still such a leader of this terrorist movement. There are many more challenges there. So again, I believe that a surge in Afghanistan also will lead us to victory there, as it has proven to have done in Iraq. And as I say, Katie, that we cannot afford to retreat, to withdraw in Iraq. That's not going to get us any better off in Afghanistan either. And as our leaders are telling us in our military, we do need to ramp it up in Afghanistan, counting on our friends and allies to assist with us there, because these terrorists who hate America, they hate what we stand for with the freedoms, the democracy, the women's rights, the tolerance. They hate what it is that we represent, and our allies too, and our friends, what they represent. If we were to allow a stronghold to be captured by these terrorists, then the world is in even greater peril than it is today. We cannot afford to lose in Afghanistan.
Basically, I was asking her, Maggie, to compare and contrast the challenges, which are quite different when it comes to a counterinsurgency in Iraq versus Afghanistan, and she responded in very general terms about the war on terror.
All right, Katie, thank you.